Welcome to Small Arm Solutions. Today is part 3 of our Enhanced Bolt Carrier series. Part 3 of 3. This is on Enhanced Wonder Finishes. As you know, you see there's tons of different kinds of finishes that we have out there. All of them are similar, nickel-based or boron-based or whatnot, black nitride and so on and so forth. And what is the true differences between them? Now, I'm going to tell you straight up, I am not a chemist. I am not an engineer. I do have a lot of experience with these finishes. I'm going to give you a basic background on what these finishes are. I can give you some stories, and I'm going to give you some information and show you some of the testing I've done in the past with these finishes. Now, I'm sure you're going to ask me, what is my favorite finish? Well, as you've seen me say it before, and I'll continue to say it, I like chrome. Chrome has been my favorite. It's been proven throughout the years. There are some finishes out there that they claim that are better, and they very well may be. However, I do like the way it cleans up easy. I like the way when it heats up, it has self lubricity to it. We're going to get more into that in the future in this video. We're going to start with what basically is the first. The first one I'm showing you here is what's referred to as nickel boron, or what you refer to as fail zero. Now, this is very interesting because the carrier that you're looking at right now came from Colt during the SCAR program back in 2006, 2007. This was the first time the nickel boron was used in the firearms industry. Colt was doing the development of their types A, B, and C SCAR, and their initial testing on this finish at that time it was referred to as UCT. It was not really referred to. It wasn't referred to as fail zero at that point. It was originally the company was called Universal Chemtech, and it was a nickel boron finish. If you take a look at this, you're going to see everything's nickel boron. Your screws, your firing pin, this entire thing is nickel boron. Initial testing at Colt, when they first tested, this stuff looked like it was awesome. You're running it without oil, which, again, we're going to get into that in a few minutes, too. It really worked well in the salt baths and all the different environmental. So the UCT coating was not just on the bolt carrier group. That application was put on the upper receivers, lower receivers, barrels, bolts, bolt carrier groups, fire control groups. It was the entire rifle was coated in this UCT nickel boron finish. Then there was a spray paint over it. The Coyote called it. It was required. So they did the testing, looked great, submitted the guns to SOCOM for trial. Well, unfortunately, it did not perform very well during the SOCOM trials as far as corrosion resistance, especially during the salt bath. I had a chance to take a look at some of the SCAR rifles when I was working at Colt, and oddly enough, they had like a bluish color to them. Now, this was the original UCT right here. This is not a fail zero. Unfortunately, I don't have a fail zero here to show you because they could not provide one. But basically, what what this is a nickel boron type finish. It has the highest boron content in the industry, as far as I know, which refers to its material's hardness, reduces friction and endurance. The company will coat customers' components as well, but you'll also see NIB. NIB refers to nickel boron. So there are several companies that use this. Fail Zero is this company today is part of UCT, who offers various bolts and bolt carriers in this finish. I had done testing with this, and I had found one of the interesting things was the way the color changes when you fire it. It appears to have like some kind of a stain or something on it when it heats up. This one has never been fired. The interesting thing about this one here is when this one I got it back in 2006, 2007. It had a much brighter type finish. It's gotten a lot paler. The finish has actually changed over the last 10, 12 years or however long it's been. It has certainly changed. NIB or nickel boron is probably one of the most common ones in the industry right now. You'll see many different companies who utilize it, but it is one of the first ones you're going to see. The next one we have here is referred to as NIB-X also. It's a little bit different than the standard NIB. It has the X on it. It's 40% harder than chrome, according to WMD. It has a Rockwell 70 hardness. It's much harder than standard nickel Teflon with a Rockwell of 45. Supposedly also harder than chrome melanite. Melanite's supposedly around Rockwell 55. Process temperature for melanite and other salt bath nitrides is 1,050 degrees Fahrenheit, and it's too high for many components. This coating has a very slippery feel to it. It's easy to clean, and the finish and corrosion resistant. I definitely will say I like this better than the standard NIB or standard nickel boron. It does not stain like the other one does, and it does have a slipperier feel to it. You'll see there's two different coatings. Well, they look the same, but different colors. You have the standard, which has a nickelish color to it, and here you have what's called a black. Nivex. Nivex Black has an MSRP of $195 with a bolt, and it also comes with a hammer as well. Now, these carriers, particular ones, came with a hammer, and the hammer basically has friction as it bolt carrier moves rearward. It pushes down on the hammer. So it came with both, and it has a MSRP for $195 for the black, and for the standard nickel, an MSRP of $197. It comes with both the bolt and the hammer. This finish is also very popular. You'll see a lot of OEMs who are using this one as well, whether it be the standard nickel boron or the Nivex. I think I definitely would have a preference for Nivex over the standard nickel boron. I had done some testing with this a little while ago, and we'd fired 400 rounds, oiled and without oil. And it was found with oil, both of these finishes, especially on this one here, it would wipe right off with a rag. As long as I could reach the spot with a rag, it wiped right off. When it came to being dry and firing them supposedly without any lube on it, it was much harder to clean. And I want to address this issue with lubeless finishes. Whenever you have two pieces of metal rubbing against each other, you have friction. Now, I don't care what kind of finish you put on that, you still have two pieces of metal. You can reduce friction, but you will not eliminate friction. And when you introduce dust, dirt, grit, carbon into that equation, you're going to have issues for as far as filth causing failures. So I don't believe any finishes that you're going to see here are what you would call lubeless. All of them will need oil. Some need more than others, but I do not believe there's anything out there that is a dry finish. Next thing we're looking at here is black nitride. Now, this happens to be one of my favorites. If I can't have chrome, I'll have this. What I find with this one here is this is very, very easy to clean. It's not porous like manganese phosphate, and it wipes off with a rag as well. This one here is another one that I test fired 200 rounds through with and without lubricant. And this one actually did pretty good even dry. I definitely wouldn't say that it's a lubricant-free, but I will say that it worked better than several of the other ones for as far as ease of cleaning. The black nitride is a thermochemical diffusion of nitrogen and carbon into the surface of the steel. It's very wear resistant, fatigue strength, corrosion resistant, lubricity, and cosmetically appealing. It's not as expensive a process of hard chrome or nickel based plating. This particular carrier here has an MSRP of $299, but you will see a lot of different types of nitriding and QPQ in the industry right now. This is a very, very popular finish, very, very durable. Now we have my favorite, the chrome. Now, you have different kinds of chrome. You can see more of a brushed chrome here, more of a shiny chrome here, and more of a matte chrome here. This particular one here is Brownells. It's more of a matte chrome. You can see different kinds of chrome depending on what era they were used. This is sort of an early era chrome here. It's not nearly as shiny. It's got a little bit more of a porous feeling to it, and you have more of the real shiny, which you have here with the young manufacturing. This one here is a Daniel Defense, which is, it's pretty average, what you would expect out of chrome. Chrome goes back to the original development of the M16, or actually the AR-10. It was chosen by Stoner because chrome has several things. First of all, it has a very slippery finish. It's very easy to clean. You can just clean it with a rag. Also, when you have chrome against chrome, it has self-lubricating properties to it, especially when it heats up. And it's also much harder than the steel that it's on. So it's a very, very durable finish. It was used on the original AR-10s, and it was used on the original AR-15s and XM16E1s. The reason why they got rid of it wasn't so much because chrome was bad, because it wasn't. The problem with it was the application of it. In the 1960s, the application process was unfortunately not that great. You had, from batch to batch, you could have some where it wasn't done properly, and you could get some flaking, especially in the jungle environment. And once you had it flake, moisture would get underneath the chrome and it would start chipping and coming off. So there was a problem for as far as the consistency of the application process and being done properly. And that had a little bit to do with why they switched over to the manganese phosphate. Manganese phosphate is in no way better than chrome, in my opinion. It has nothing over it. However, the chrome cleaning process is more expensive, which I'm sure that had something to do with it as well. In my opinion, I think this is what they should still be using today is the original chrome. But that's just my little pet peeve. There are several manufacturers where you can get a really good chrome-plated bolt carrier from. Again, you have Brownells, you have Yankee Hill Machine, you have Daniel Defense, you also have Rock River Arms, and you also have Smith Enterprises. Smith Enterprises is probably the one who's been doing it the longest. They did them for the government way back when. So this is my particular favorite of all the finishes. And what we have here is a PVD finish by Faxon Firearms. They call Chameleon. PVD is a physical vapor deposition. It's a titanium ion plating, which is corrosion resistant, wear resistant, sliding friction, general durability, and cosmetically pleasing. The combined finish gives a somewhat case-hardened steel appearance to it. PVD has also been used by other companies for other parts as well. In fact, the Beretta for their M9A3 and M9A1, they use this on their magazines as a much better finish than the Parker Horizon they were using prior to. This can be used in different colors, but this particular one's more of a. It's like more. I think it looks like a sort of a case hardening in somewhat of a way, but definitely for somebody who wants to have a unique look to their rifle. Looks holographic, Heather says. Now, for as far as the cost of this, you're looking at just for the carrier to carrier key, you're looking at $299. This is a standard bolt. But PVD can be seen in not just this, but many different types of finishes as well. What we have here is another interesting finish. It's called titanium nitride, or TIN, titanium nitride. This is a hard ceramic coating which reduces galling in components. It's very wear resistant, inert, lubricious, and reduces friction. It's really used like on cutting tools, such as drill bits and saws and so forth. It's a very, very durable finish. Well, it looks gold, if that's your thing. It's a very good finish. I don't think I would rate it as high as some of the other ones because it does come off. It does have a lot of wear to it. I've seen several of these that have been used in the past where you can see where some of the titanium nitride is wore off it. But for the most part, for normal duty use, this is an excellent finish. There's not really published specifications from Maxna on what this is, but if it's aesthetically what you're looking for, it's certainly an option out there. That's an MSRP of around $199. There are several manufacturers who do offer a titanium nitride type finish. The last one we're going to look at is the standard mil-spec manganese phosphate finish. Basically, what we have here is a mil-spec friction-reducing, corrosion-resistant anti-galling coating, also known as Parkerizing. It reduces wear during metal-to-metal contact. Not so easy to clean as many other finishes. And I can definitely tell you that from using it for all these years. And any of you guys who were in the military who had to clean these things. The way this finish is, it's very porous a lot of times, and it's hard to tell when it's actually clean until your drill sergeant gets his white glove on it, and it comes off, and all the carbon and fouling come off of it. Now, compared to what this replaced, it's very inexpensive. It's much less expensive than the standard chrome plating. Now, was it a good idea to go to this? Again, my opinion would be no. You do still have chrome on these, though. You have a chrome plated inside of the carrier and inside of the carrier key. Now, you're going to see a lot of this throughout the industry, just like not all bolt carriers are created equal. Also, not all types of finishes are created equal. You can see some variations in color of manganese phosphate. You can see some that looks downright green. Some that looks black, and then depending on the way that the carrier is prepped, it can be either very, very smooth or it can be porous as well. But you can see this throughout the industry. There's one more finish that I do want to talk about. Unfortunately, I don't have an example of it here, but it's called NP3. Now, what NP3 is an electro nickel plating which has Teflon impregnated into it. There's a company called Robar who does quite a bit with that. That's another one that you'll see quite a bit of use out of. You'll see around. That's another one that's very, very, very smooth. Very slippery. It has a lot of the same properties. A lot of the nickel-based ones, regardless of what they are very, very similar to operation in their field. Chrome, you're looking at timeless. It's been used, this goes back to the origination of this weapon system. I think it's an excellent finish. Are any of these perfect? Absolutely not. Are any of them completely lubricant-free? I don't believe so. I don't know anybody who advocates no use of lubrication. There are some companies who've tried in the past. I don't think it's gone over very well. There's been some other finishes in the past that have come and gone. Another one that is really good is also called Obsidian. So we have the question, which one is better? Well, you can have your opinion on which one you think is better. In my opinion, I like Chrome the best. But if you want to talk about facts, I think what you're seeing here is all these finishes are very comparable. All of them do the job. I don't think any of them is significantly better than the other. I do believe several of these have a lot over the manganese phosphate. That's probably the only one I would say that I think everything that you see here is definitely an advancement over the manganese phosphate. But I think it's like somebody who buys a car. I buy an orange car, you buy a black car, somebody else buys a blue car. It's what your particular flavor is which one you think you like better or which one is more physically appealing to you. But I've had a lot of rounds through a lot of these finishes over the last 10, 15 years or so. I was there at the time when Colt first started using nickel boron and saw the good parts about it, the bad parts about it. And then as it's progressed over the time to where everything is today, I don't think I would be upset with any or feel upset with any of these finishes on my guns. I think they're all pretty much comparable. So I think it comes down to a personal preference. From all the testing that I've done, most of these finishes I have tried, I fired them both dry and with lubricant. And all of them, of course, with lubricant, everything wipes off much easier than it does when it's dry. The ones that wiped off easier when they were dry was the chrome and was the black nitride. Those are the two ones that cleaned off the easiest. Also, I have to say that the Nibex was very good as well. You know, a lot of my experience with the Fail Zero and with the UCT, going back to the Colt times, the Colt times with the original ones had the issues with the corrosion with salt water. I never duplicated those tests, just for the ones I've used over the years. I never really could get over the fact that you would see this staining. Once you would fire it the first time, it come out and you wipe it off. It didn't come off the same color. There was like a tarnishing that came to it, which I didn't notice with the Nibex or the NP3. That does not mean that there's anything wrong with it. That could be very, very normal. But a lot of us, I think we also get hung up on cosmetics. These are tools. They're not meant to be pretty. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Again, this is a very simplified version of finishes. I'm not a chemist. I'm not an engineer. I got the basics of what all these finishes are and using them. So if you guys have any questions, please leave me a comment. I'll try and get back to you. If you enjoyed this video, please click like, please subscribe, and even better, share, and please consider donating in our Patreon. Thank you very much.